Welcome to The Explainer, where we turn complex topics into clear narratives. Today, we're going to dig into how one single company quietly became the new data infrastructure for the entire American state. Okay, let's get right into it.
So picture this, February 2026. Two huge events involving the company Oracle happen just 16 days apart. On February 27th, the president blacklists a major AI company. This sparks a very public, very loud Oracle war that everyone was talking about. But just 16 days earlier, on the 11th, something else happened. A massive government contract was signed. It was so quiet, almost nobody even noticed.
So you have to ask, right? How is this big public fight over AI and this quiet, kind of boring-sounding healthcare contract, how are they possibly related? Well, while everyone's eyes were on the AI drama, the real story, the one that actually ties everything together, was that infrastructure deal. It's the key. It's the key to understanding the full picture of what was being built, just beneath the surface.
To really see that connection, we need a framework. We've got to learn how to read the terrain, so to speak. It means we have to look past the day-to-day headlines and really focus on this hidden thing called the data layer that basically underpins our entire society.
Okay, so what is this data layer? Well, think of it like the nervous system of civilization. It's the information system that sees and interprets what's happening in all the other systems, from our health records to our food supply to our finances. And as the source material points out, whoever controls this layer, whoever controls how all that information is interpreted, holds just an immense amount of authority over everything else.
So let's actually see how this empire was built. We're going to walk through the documented public record. We're going to see how one company, Oracle, step by step, came to dominate this data layer, one foundational piece at a time.
It really starts in a big way with our health. In that quiet deal we mentioned, the one announced on February 11th, 2026, Oracle secured the contract to manage all the data for Medicare and Medicaid. That's over 150 million Americans. And what does that mean in real terms? It means the diagnoses, the medications, the treatments, the financial info for nearly half the country. All of it is now being migrated to and managed on Oracle Cloud infrastructure.
But here's the thing, that wasn't even their first major move into health data. This new, massive contract was just added right on top of the military health data Oracle had already acquired when it bought the company Cerner way back in 2022. That system alone covers over 9.5 million people.
So let's just let that sink in for a second. By early 2026, one single company, Oracle, held the complete lifelong health records for every active duty service member and veteran, plus all the health data for a huge portion of the civilian population.
And this is where the scale of it all just becomes undeniable, because it goes so far beyond health. Oracle is a key provider for the military's most secret cloud operations. Its infrastructure is what trains and runs xAI's Grok model. That's the super powerful AI that replaced the old one for Pentagon use. There's a government-wide agreement that basically makes Oracle the default discounted IT solution for all federal agencies. And oh, by the way, it even manages the data for the entire nation's food supply, from farms right down to SNAP benefits.
And when you actually lay it all out on a timeline like this, you see the just breathtaking speed of how this was all assembled. From grabbing the military's health records in 2022 to locking down the civilian health system in 2026, it was just a series of quiet, strategic moves that created this unprecedented consolidation of our nation's core data infrastructure. And it all happened in just a handful of years.
Now that we've kind of established the sheer scale of this empire, let's hit rewind. Let's go all the way back to the very beginning. Because to really get the context here, you have to know this company's pretty surprising origin story.
All right, so go back to 1977. The CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, starts a program to build a powerful new database system. They needed something that could handle these vast amounts of intelligence data they were collecting. Well, the code name for that CIA project was Oracle.
So the founder of Oracle Corporation, a guy named Larry Ellison, he commercialized the technology from that exact CIA project, and he named his new company after it. And as the source material points out, the name was never meant to be a metaphor. It has always been a literal description of its job, to be an oracle, a system that interprets reality for the people making the big decisions.
Now look, this isn't about some grand conspiracy that was planned out since 1977. That's not the point.
Instead, it's about recognizing a pattern. It's about seeing how normal business incentives and, government dynamics can lead to this powerful and maybe completely unintended convergence.
And what's the end result of that pattern? Well, the infrastructure born from a CIA surveillance project in the 70s now holds the entire data layer of the American state in the 2020s.
And that brings us right back to where we started, back to those 2 dates. They show you the final convergence. On February 11th, the last major piece of the civilian data layer, all that health data, it locks into Oracle's infrastructure. Then, just 16 days later, with the old, safer AI model out of the way, a new, much more powerful one was locked onto that very same, now consolidated data layer.
So, what does all this mean for us, for regular people? Well, the source material suggests the answer isn't to panic. The answer is to focus on practical navigation, on understanding this new terrain and figuring out how to move through it.
Here are 6 concrete steps that are proposed in the analysis, and they all really focus on one thing: reducing your personal dependency on these massive systems, and increasing your own resilience and your own freedom to navigate. Everything from building local food alternatives to developing practical, non-digital skills.
And that really brings us to the final thought here. This historic consolidation of data has created a powerful, unbelievably detailed new map of our society, and it's a map held within a single company's infrastructure. And that leaves us with a really critical question we all have to think about. When one entity holds the map, who really controls the territory?